Hello, and welcome to the stream. Alright, so today we're going to play some Epic. And I do believe that there is a new arena. It is Random 60. So I'm mostly going to be playing some Random 60 today. Maybe I'll play a game of Constructed. We'll see. But let's just see what we have here. So every Friday the Epic Arena changes. And it actually follows a rotation. So you have the two limited formats, and the two are separated, and the two constructed formats are separated. So, I mean, even though you might call this limited format, it's similar to constructed in that it's deck building. So we're going to be playing a random 60, and then the next week is random 30. The following week is constructed, and then it goes back to dark draft. All right, so we do get to see duels cards in this, so that'll be changing what the decks will look like. I'm just thinking about it right now. So cards that I think I would like to play in most decks. I'm probably going to end up playing Bounty Hunter here. It's like a Palace guard, more aggressive. It dies much more easily. But the difference between 8 and 6 offense is pretty high. Basically, you have a very high chance of just forcing your opponent to deal with this for their 1 cost if they can't get rid of it for 0 because they can't take 8 every turn. And a lot of the time, a Palace card it's not just that it just gets chumped, it can get completely blocked by things that will just survive the attack a lot of the time. I'll probably also play, it's likely, I'll play Force Exile in any deck. It's a good card to play. It's draw 2, it's removal, and it has the benefit it's still your turn. We have 0 cost Recycle here, so I'm going to put that in for now. As far as everything else goes, there's a good chance I'll end up playing Revolt, but this one's on the light side. I don't think I'm super crazily excited about this card, but a draw 2 that has another mode of a 0, either a Blitz 3 offense attack or a chump blocker, and also it can have some synergy with other things like Faithful Pegasus becomes 5 and in the air. So, for example. Alright, let's get our evil here. So looking at our evil, looks pretty good, but I don't think we have any strong loyalties. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the Gudgeon, Zombie Apocalypse here as a board clear. That's going to be our first one that we're picking up. We'll probably play Plague here. It's also nice. It's a draw 2 with an alternate mode. So in random 60, you'll actually see a lot more of certain cards that I think Plague is very good against. You see a lot more Thought Pluckers, you see a lot of Necromancer Lords, and Force Mage Apprentices. So Plague will be good against those cards when people are playing them. I'm probably going to end up going heavy evil here. I probably do something like Bitten, Final Task, Grave Demon, Invoke Pact, Murderous Necromancer, Necrovirus. But maybe we'll cut these cards out and then come back if we see another color that we very much like. There's not even a real loyal. Like there's Helion and Ice Drake and Sage here, but neither of those are compelling, right? And Necrovirus is quite nice because it's not often that you get off-turn removal that has an upside. So when you play this off-turn, you're going to get probably 4 zombie tokens because you'll get 1 and then 3 later. And the token you get is better than the token your opponent gets because you get to use yours just to block right away. Your gold will be down when you use it. Alright, and we do want to have some amount of discard pile banish, so that'll probably be this Corpsemonger here. What about our wilds? Yeah, see, even our wilds, we don't have anything that's super heavy. No crazy loyalty 2s or anything like that, so I'm probably going to play Knight of Shadow and Wave Transformation. Maybe Time Thief. We'll take a look at the deck afterwards. I do like having some 0 cost removal, some cheap removal for 0, so I'll play the Force Mage Apprentice and probably also the Ensnaring Rune because I don't think I have very much of that in the way of things that efficiently deal with small champions. Hey, picks. Alright, and for the same reason, I'm definitely going to play Javelin Thrower and Lightning Strike. Yeah, so it's a random 60 right now. I'm just putting together my deck for the arena. I'm probably going to be something like Smash and Burn and Surprise Attack. I'm not sure how many champions I have right now. Let's see. We have Bounty Hunter, Gudgeon, Murderous Necromancer, Grave Demon, Knight of Shadow. So we're actually quite low on champions. We want more of those. So I'll probably end up playing this Fire Spirit. And I might not play Surprise Attack. I don't have very many champions. So in that case, there's a good chance I'll run something like Crystal Golem, Winter Fairy, Time Thief. Probably all three. Maybe a Zealous Necromancer as well. Do we have any Punishing Champions right now? Don't think so. So it'll probably be Gold Dragon there. Gold Dragon is a lot like Avenging Angel. I think the upside of your other good champions having Righteous, in my opinion, I would prefer Avenging Angel usually. But there's something to be said for a Gold Dragon just sometimes giving you 20 health in one turn. If you just play it and your opponent doesn't have a good answer to it. We'll probably cut Revolt from this deck. I'm going to see what else I have in here. So we're going to go ahead and... At this point, I'm looking for cards that are particularly exciting still. And then I'll go in and do more what I would call filler. So cards that I'm not crazily excited about, but they fulfill a specific role in my deck. Maybe I need more champions, for example. So let's see if we have any... The problem with Whirlwind in this deck is I think it kills almost all of our stuff. It kills Bounty Hunter Gudgeon. It doesn't kill Grave Demon. And it doesn't kill Gold Dragon. It kills Knight of Shadows, Winter Fairy, Time Thief, Crystal Golem. Not really Crystal Golem. It doesn't kill Fire Spirit. So it doesn't kill three of our things. I don't think that's enough. I think that probably won't be able to play Whirlwind in this deck. Maybe Draka's Fire. I find this card actually to be pretty good usually. Alright, let's see if we can get some champions in here. Champions that won't be disappointed about playing here. I think I'm probably going to cut the Revolt here. We'll end up playing... I'm not really aggressive enough to play Arm, and I don't think Quell's very good in this deck because I have such a mix. I don't have a strong 0-cost or 1-cost champion strategy. I could play Deadly Raid, but I don't really have enough champions for it. I could play Zealous Necromancer, that's fine. Ambush champions, I have Crystal Golem, Time Thief, and Grave Demon. So I actually have a reasonable amount of those, plus if you count it, Necrovirus. What I really want are more establishing champions. Champions I can play on my own turn. They could be 0-cost. Let's go ahead and just cut the Revolt here. I don't think it's going to be very good. Maybe I'll run Thrasher Demon. And it's possible Corpse Taker is just worth it in this deck because I have a lot of... You know, I might be able to play Evict in this deck. I've got Thrasher Demon, Corpse Monger, Faithful Pegasus, Force Mage Apprentice, and Javelin Thrower. Those are all good with it. So I'll play Corpse Taker and Evict here. And then we need to run one other card. If I could play Helion, I definitely would. How many Sage cards? We have 8 out of 30. Which is basically 16 out of 60. So it's pretty greedy to play him. But I could probably get away with it if I play towards it. I'll just have to keep it in mind. It's not particularly another champion that I want to play here. I could play Rain of Fire. I think those are both good choices. I think I'm gonna try playing the Helion though. It's very powerful if you can get the effect off. And you can play this as a Punisher pretty effectively. You just play it and then you have it gain control of itself and it can gain Blitz and attack for 8, or you can play it as another way to get rid of small champions, which I was talking about how this deck, the type of things that I would want that would fulfill that role. We actually have a lot of them right now, so I don't particularly need this, but it's very versatile. It's an off-turn play and on-turn play. So we're going to go ahead and run that. And then we are good to go. So we'll just call this, what's our deck style right now? We're going to be kind of slower here. We're not particularly fast. More of a, it's like a fresh ground coffee, that kind of deck. Wakes you up, and then you just, over time, you know, you get to taste the flavor. So we'll just call it fresh ground here. It's just something that it's just off the cuff, if you couldn't tell. Alright, we're going to go ahead and see if we can find an opponent for us. Oh yeah. I can explain it here. All right. So basically, first I just filled out the basics of the deck. So I went ahead and I said, what cards do I want, just in general. I decided to play Bounty Hunter, Forced Exile, and Faithful Pegasus. These cards are all, in my opinion, pretty safe in most decks. So Bounty Hunter is like Palace Guard. It's a champion that will get you back on the board when you're behind. And it's more aggressive, but it fulfills the role very good. So we're going very well. So we're going to go ahead and play that. We're also playing Forced Exile here for basically the same reason, except this card you can play off turn. 2 human tokens versus an 8/3. I'm not sure which one I like more. This has versatility with the draw 2. And then I'm also playing Faithful Pegasus here as a 0-cost recycle champion. We have very few recycle in this deck, so if I could play more recycle, I would. I think that's my only recycle card. And I usually want at least 3. That's 1 out of 10. Although I think I'd probably go up to at least 6 if I felt like the recycle cards were impactful. Like Faithful Pegasus usually doesn't have that much of an impact, but with no other recycle in the deck, I guess I also have Plague. It's always going to draw a card for free, so I might as well play it. Makes it a 29 card deck. And then we have Bitten here, which is a solid card. It removes things. It gives you... I basically just started picking out some solid cards that I feel are relevant in most decks. So one thing which is a bit questionable, and I probably should have reviewed, was this Invoke Pact here, because I don't have that many champions in this deck. But I do think that it'll be fine. It does synergize pretty well with Winter Fairy, Bounty Hunter, Gold Dragon, even Time Thief, right? You get this 8/6, or Knife Shadows is going to be very good with Knife Shadows. Fire Spirit's a little awkward, and it's a bit awkward with Helion if you don't have Loyalty 2 already. It's very good with Murderous Necromancer. So overall, I'd say it's a pretty good card in our deck as long as we can get a target in our discard pile. We were a bit weak on champions. We didn't have very many powerhouses, and there were no Loyalty 2s to build around, so instead, with this deck, I went a little bit into Evil and picked up this Murderous Necromancer, and a little bit into Sage to pick up Helion, and then I just carved out some reasonable picks from all of the colors. So we have Force Mage Apprentice, Ensnaring Rune, Javelin Thrower, and Lightning Strike are going to be our ways to deal with small champions. And then we have just Draka's Fire, Fire Spirit, and Smash and Burn are all were fillers mostly. So Smash and Burn is draw 2 with a bonus, so we have more card draw. Basically every time I draw, probably every time this is in my hand, I'm going to want to draw 2 at some point. And I don't have that many draw 2s in this deck, so this will always be better than just a draw 2. We have Fire Spirit as an establishing champion, so I don't think I would normally play this in this deck, but I have very few plays that I would want to make on turn. So this is another one of those. And for that reason, it's much better for this deck than it normally would be. Like, I'm never going to activate that ability, the deal 4 damage target champion. It's just a small mythic monster. Draka's Fire here is mostly in the deck because it helps us deal with Wave Transformation, which turns our opponent's champions into wolves, and Zombie Apocalypse, which turns our opponent's champions into zombies. But it has a side benefit of just occasionally being very useful. It doesn't hit any of our stuff. I mean, it hits some of our stuff, but a lot of our things just happen to be large enough, just barely, not to add to it. It does hit Knife Shadows, Winter Fairy, and our 0-cost champions. Alright, and then I did decide to pick up a Vict for this deck because I feel like there's enough 0-cost champions that we're frequently going to be able to get value out of this. So we'll play our 0-cost champions, and then we'll play Vict. And even if you just play 2 0-cost champions and Vict, I think it pays off. Otherwise, we just got some standard cards in here that are mostly solid for most decks. Like Necrovirus and Murderous Necromancer was the main reason that I wanted to dump some more cards in from Evil. But I probably wouldn't be playing Invoke Pact and Final Task in this deck if I didn't decide that I was going to be heavy enough Evil for these two. Maybe just the Final Task or neither, because those cards will probably be used to draw 2 cards. Alright, so we're off to the races. We'll see how well we do. I think we can get at least 2 wins off this deck. Yeah. I like the deck actually, but it doesn't feel inherently powerful. There's no crazy thing that it can do. It's just going to try and get value, basically. I'd really have to be queued up and then also have his deck here. Let's see, and then I also made a deck last stream, which I'll probably play. Maybe not today, but soon. I'm trying to think of what it was. It was a Sage good deck, and then I ended up just slowly cutting all the good out, and it became just this Sage deck with a very small amount of wild. And it was interesting. It was playing Garbage Golem and Lessons Learned and Mistguide Heralds, and the main pull away was it was trying to play these burn cards. It was playing Flame Strike. Whirlwind was the card I was trying out, the big one. It deals 7 damage to all champions and players, so it was a board clear mostly in that deck, but also your champion survived it, so it could be a deal 7 to them, and also, take out all their blockers, but hopefully they're not getting close to killing you. GG. Cancel. Do you not have a cancel button? Yeah, no, GG would be great. But it's tough, right? Because the thing about emotes is they're never going to be used to be nice. People are just going to, maybe if you could only click it once, I don't know. People are always going to, if you could, click as many times as you want. They make a play that, clears the board, and then they're like, GG, 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 GG. Like, I've seen the way that Hearthstone does it with they have an emote wheel, and you can say things like, I think there's greet, well played, I don't know, some of those, but people are just, they're never used to be nice, basically. maybe once in a while. Yeah, I mean, it's just a weird, tough issue to solve, right? That's why you don't want to have chat. If you could just talk directly to your opponent, then the issue with anonymous emoting in general is that people tend to lean towards toxicity over time. Not at the beginning, but the longer it's out, the worse it gets usually. Yeah, sometimes. There's also just that issue of people are always going to be slightly more offensive when they're behind a screen, when you don't know who they are. You're not talking face to face. So it's going to be suckier than your average person, so to speak. I don't think we're getting any luck with this arena here, so I'm just going to leave that and we'll come back. Probably see if I can queue up here just for anything. But I will go ahead and toss in this deck here that I was just talking about. Probably should change the name now. It's really more of a Sage tempo deck. Alright, yeah, what this deck was doing, I was playing Disappearing Act and Vanishing, so we have 6 copies of 0 cost return target champion to its owner's hand on your own turn. And we're just going to go ahead and try and get in with our big things. But we do have some more tricks in this deck. We're just playing some burn here, so we're going to try and deal some damage to them in the early game and then just finish them off That's the plan. The one thing that's really great about Lessons Learned in this deck is that you can play a card that deals damage directly to them and then play a Lessons Learned on the following turn. So if you have Flame Strike in hand, then you're just trying to get them down to 16 so that you can Flame Strike Lessons Learned. But you know, you won't always get Lessons Learned. And sometimes all your burn cards can clutter up your hand, make it difficult for you to draw cards. And there is not very much card draw in this deck. I have just thought about putting in Frantic Digging maybe, but so far it's been fine. Nothing too crazy. Doesn't feel like this deck doesn't feel. Yeah, it doesn't excuse it. It's just the explanation. Alright, I guess while we're waiting, we can just make another deck here. So let's just go ahead and I'll toss this one. Alright. I don't want to just keep adding decks because at this point you just scroll so much. It's getting kind of ridiculous. So I'm just going to start clearing them since I have them saved anyway. Let's see. Do something. Since we got absolutely ruined by Necromancer Lord, we can make a Necromancer Lord deck. We could do something with Necromancer Lord here. I think this card's very fun. Let's go ahead and make a Evil and Wild deck, because I don't think I've done that yet on the stream. So let's go ahead and we'll toss in some of the classic wild cards that everybody knows and loves. We'll have Raging T-Rex. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, 1 GG would be good. Yeah, 1 GG would be good. I mean, I think I personally do like emoting. It's just, it's tough because you have this issue of people tending to lean towards using emoting negatively. Alright, so what do I want to do with this deck? I want to have some big champions like these. We'll play Final Task, we'll play Brachiosaurus. We're going to play Invoke Pact. It's going to be a big part of this deck, is going to be Invoke Pact. Give them a demon token. So if we're going to be giving them demon tokens, we want to be able to clear the demon tokens, which means we're going to play Pyrosaur. And then from here it's a bit more freeform. I'm thinking definitely Surprise Attack. And maybe we just splash Sage for Misguide Herald because we're going to play a lot of champions in this deck. Usually, and if we're going to be playing a lot of champions and Reanimation, I think we definitely want Misguides. Do something like 3 Misguide, 1. Probably going to need Ancient Chant in this deck, to be honest. Maybe even 3. I think we're going to run out of cards. Alright, so we'll do that, and we'll probably play Amnesia. We're not sure how long these games are going to go. But Amnesia is pretty safe. Alright, so we're just going to call this Evil Wilds. It's like Dead Dinos. That's what we got right now. I'm just going to quickly save it here. Open it back up. Should it get placed at the end? Wasn't sure if it would get placed at the end or not. Alright, so we have Dead Dinos here. And we're going to go ahead and add in some more evil cards. So at 6, that leaves us with 40 minus 34, so that's 15, 16, 17 evil cards, 17 wild cards. Or we could do an 18-16 split, which is more likely. So we'll be aiming for 18-16 as our amounts. So let's go ahead and play Drain Essence, and then I think we want Dark One's Apprentice here, just because that'll help us with our life gain. This is going to be more of like a tempo-oriented deck. I'm not sure if Brachiosaurus is going to work. If we want to play this, we probably want to have the 18 be on wild side. And just maybe have the only loyalty be the Necromancer Lord. Yeah, I think so. Let's go ahead and play Final Task as well. This is at 15, so we'll put in one more, which might just be the break all as an out. Gudgeon's also good. Not sure how much card draw we'll need. I'll go down 2 Ancient Chants and go up 2 Gudgeons. We'll do that, because that's very similar, but it increases our champion count and also our evil count, which will be important for this deck. Alright, so our 18, and we'll go over to our wilds, 1 costs. We want to put one more card in, that's a 3 of. Yeah. No, I do think limiting it helps. I think there's solutions. There are solutions. Maybe just Strafing Dragon. Strafing Dragon's always pretty solid. I almost want to play Drakosfire, but I think we want more champions. Let's just play Strafing Dragon. We won't have Draka in this deck, which is interesting. Alright, so then we'll put in our... Put in our wild 0 cost cards here, so we want 9, which will be 3. Alright, let's go ahead and do... maybe Flashfire. Do we have any board clear in this deck? I guess not. It might be a problem. Probably want to have at least one, like Zombie Apocalypse or something. I'm going to cut one of these reanimation cards. Probably... I'm going to be playing at least one Zombie Apocalypse, I think. So I'm going to go for Zombie Apocalypse in place of 1 Gudgeon and 1 Invoke Pack. No, I kind of want to try these out. I'll put one in the final task. So let's just go over and toss the Zombie Apocalypse is in here. We'll quickly find out whether or not I I need more of those. If we're really feel good every time we draw one, feel bad every time we don't. Alright, and then aside from that, I'm going to play... I think we definitely want Rage in this deck. We've got a lot of great targets for Rage. Probably something like 3 Rages, 1 Lash. And then I'll play some small champion removal. Then we want 2 more cards, so possibly Flashfires. That's really what had me thinking about it. That's why I was thinking about it. I don't know. Flashfire doesn't seem like it would be that crazy in this deck. Feeding Frenzy doesn't seem that crazy in this deck. Maybe just Flame Spike. Alright, we could also do Spore Beast, which is an interesting option. It's kind of more of a control-y type of play here. We could add more lashes in. I don't think we're going to want that many lashes, so I'll leave it as it is. That'll also give us some burn here, because you can finish your opponent off with Flame Spike. Go over to Evil. And one thing that's interesting is I could play 2 Heinous Feasts and talk the Amnesias over to like Frantic Digging. Otherwise, it's probably going to be something like Wither Consume. Just want more ways to interact with our 0 cost cards here, or card advantage. So yeah, I think it will be Wither, Consume, Heinous Feast, and then play 2 Frantic Diggings. Wither, Consume, Heinous Feast. Just put 3 in. Maybe 3 and 2 and 1 Plentiful Dead. Go over to Amnesia here and go to Sage. Free cards, play 2 Frantic Diggings. Alright. This will help us. The Frantic Diggings will be, or I actually like them a lot in decks that are being greedy about their colors. Like I'm trying to play loyalty cards in both, because you can discard the cards in your hand that are loyalty and do nothing. It's also very good with Final Task and Zombie Apocalypse and Invoke Pact, so that's a nice benefit. You go ahead and save that. We'll rekey with this. Now it's number 2. I think it was because it was not yet finished, didn't have 60 cards in it. It placed the deck at the very end instead. I'll do that as well. Alright. I'm up against Benron. See, Benron's on. Alright, opponent's going first. I think we definitely want to have Darkwind's Apprentice and Zombie Apocalypse in our hand, because this is a draw 2, this is a good way to interact with our opponent. Otherwise, I'm actually feeling quite good about our hand, so I'm just going to leave it. Not something I do very often. But basically, we can Pyrosaur or Raging T-Rex with Loyalty 2 up. That's very strong. I don't want to mess that up by mulliganing cards. Now, when you're playing a greedy deck, and I call this greedy because wanting more, like you end up in situations where your cards are just bad because they don't have loyalty to. T-Rex or Striping Dragon is a good example of this. I mean, a 6 offense, 6 defense, airborne ambush blitz. It's actually not very good. It's probably, think of it this way, right? A airborne blitz for 0, you get a 4 offense, 4 defense. A 0 cost airborne, just airborne by itself, you get 6/7. Airborne ambush, you get a 3/7. So you're getting a bit more than a 0 cost card, maybe something like less than 2 0 cost cards worth of stats without loyalty 2. But with loyalty 2, this card's great. It's going to be usually at some level of 2 for 1, where you are taking out your opponent's champion or you're dealing damage to them, and then you're also putting pressure. Now, one thing that I really wanted to play in this deck, the Brachiosaurus, just because I wanted to play around with an interaction that I haven't played around with in a while, and that is, if you return a Brachiosaurus to play, you still get tribute, which is you gain a gold, a wild gold, and what's really cool about Brachiosaurus, right, is that if you return to play with some method that isn't wild, you still get your wild gold. So you could play Necromancer Lord, right? Okay, on your next turn, Necromancer Lord's still out, you bring your Brachiosaurus back, now you have 2 gold to spend. It's the only way to do it, actually. It's the Necromancer Lord or Brachiosaurus. Or, I'm trying to think if there's a way for your opponent to put something into play under your control. I don't think so. There's a promo card, or actually, I guess it got released in Pantheon, called New Dawn, which banished all champions, and then each player put a champion into play from their hand. So that's the only other way, having 2 gold in the turn. All of those other ways to return to play, like, I don't think we're getting an opponent here. All of those other ways to get a... Did that work? Yep. All those other ways to get your champion into play, like your dinosaur or we're up against Paris. It's random 30. Yep. Alright. So let's see what I'm doing. This opponent's going first. I'm probably going to surprise attack out Frost Giant or Sandworm. Not particularly excited about my hand. I don't want Champion of the Wicked because this hand is really lacking card draw. I'm going to toss the Frost Giant, and I'll probably also even toss the Sandworm. Keep these other 2. I mean, pretty much any draw is going to be good here because the surprise attack will either let us play a champion or we'll draw events. Alright, yeah, surprise attack out this Imperial Commander. The reason that I kept the Ankylosaurus is because, worst case scenario, I can play the Ankylosaurus as a mini Triceratops, spend my gold to draw a card and get out a 7 offense, 7 defense breakthrough. Alright, there's a Lara. It's interesting. No loyalty. Got some Imperial Commander here. It's somewhat tempting just to play Rally the People because it gives me a big human token. The human token is going to be what? It's big. We're going to go ahead and do that. It's a 5/1. It's going to be a 4/1. But here's what we're going to do. I'm going to play Faithful Pegasus. We're just going to lose our Rally the People. I don't really care about that recall. And then we're going to attack in the air with our Imperial Commander. So right now we're attacking for 15 in the air because our Pegasus gets buffed. So we can pull this off. That's a big whack on our first turn. Alright, we're going to get to draw a card there. Banishment is a little awkward to use because the opponent gets to get a big benefit. Alright, so that happened. Afterwards, let's we need to remove the Alara so our stuff doesn't keep getting transformed. Not that it's that big of a deal, but might as well do that before playing the Ankylosaurus. So I'm going to go ahead and run out my Thrash Demon here and attack with it. And then I'll probably just use the Temporal Shift on the Alara. So Temporal Shift or Necrovirus, but they're pretty close to each other. I kind of prefer having the hard removal for something that is immediately threatening. I don't want the opponent to replay. So if they run out a Triceratops, let's say, and draw a card, then return to hand, we'll draw a card again. But assuming they didn't just get loyalty here, then when they play the Alara, it's just going to make a wolf token. Alright, and then we're going to pass. I could attack with this. I could play Ankylosaurus. I'm not doing those. Playing the Ankylosaurus I think is overcommitting. I have a lot of stuff in play already. And the Pegasus can give the human token airborne, so I basically have 3 in the air every turn, and then this will be attacking for 5. And the Go Wilds, I want to save it for when I can get the Recycle. So yeah, I'm probably going to be Psionic Assaulting here. That was a nice pickup. With this few number of cards in hand, I'm not really worried. Definitely taking the 2 here. If this was a Dark Draft, I'd probably block it. I'd assume they have a board clear of some kind. But at random 30, the chance they have a way to clear the board is less likely. Or rather, the chance they have both a board clear and it's not their only draw to, and also it does something useful for the board. Like if they had, I'm trying to think of a good example. Alright, just going to replay their Alara, that's fine. I'm going to make them discard 2 now. Because I can always play the Necrovirus or whatever on my turn. We're going to attack with the Thrasher Demon first. It is questionable, they're both reasonable to attack with first. I'd rather attack with the Thrasher Demon because 5 offense, 5 defense is just really difficult to stop for 0. Whereas the 3 offense, 3 defense, you can just die to Fireball, or what's the other one? Is that new Duels card that deals 3 damage to target player and all of your champions. Oh, they accidentally chose the wrong mode unless they're conceding. They should have chosen deal 5 damage to target player, draw a card, but maybe they accidentally did 9 damage to each 1-cost champion. Did not realize that doesn't affect 0-cost champions. That is unfortunate. Alright. Well, good game, Paris. Alright, I'm up against Ben Ron twice. So I'm probably just going to play this first game and see if they make a move. I'll go ahead and run out this Darkone's Apprentice. This is a good time to do it. Get rid of that. That's a great answer to Shadow Imp right there. So one of the reasons that I really like Darkone's Apprentice is because it's very good against those 3 health champions. And Shadow Imp is something that's just difficult to deal with. Right? You don't want to spend a 1-cost card on this, but you can't do things like Wolf's Bite or Flamespike it, so, or Flash Fire. And in theory, right, the player that's using it should always put it back in their hand at the end of the turn. So usually when I play Shadow Imp, I'll play it attack, and then I'll make my Sage play after the attack. And that way Shadow Imp goes back in your hand, and your opponent can't do anything now about it, right? You don't want to replay it and attack with it a second time, because now they can't play Drawcar, Pyrosaur, or Javelin Thrower, or Force Mage Apprentice, or Those are all cards that I just named that you can't play them on your opponent's turn, but you can play them on your turn to get rid of Shadow. I'm trying to think of another good one, but they definitely exist. I guess I'll just continue to do quick matches here. Oh, I'm against Ben Ron. Oh, and this is just Ben Ron just took their turn. Alright, I want to continue playing the game that we're already playing. I don't want to do that one yet. Blue Dragon here. Gonna deal the damage to me. I'm perfectly fine with that. Start my turn. Attack for 7. See what we got. Kind of expect something like an erase here. If this gets returned to my hand, I'll probably Pyrosaur, since Pyrosaur will kill the Blue Dragon for free. That's just such good value. It's hard to give up a free. Plus we have 2 Pyrosaurs. On the other hand, though, if this doesn't get returned to my hand, then I'll just run out the T-Rex here. Probably reveal both Pyrosaurs because I have to reveal one anyway. I just want to get my hand size bigger. Something that's important in the beginning of the game is getting your hand size to be larger. Deadly Ray to draw 2, okay. Deals damage to me. So I'm going to take 6 from this and go to 23 as well, and then probably 2 from wherever their play is. Oh, go against Sam. Probably should have ended the queue there because I was actually playing, but it's fine. We can play this game here, Sam. Sorry, I'm trying to think of the name, Ben. That I'll probably be going to play this game first at this point. Let's go ahead and run out the Gudgeon. We want to keep this. This will be our turn. This will be our play when the opponent passes to us. So we'll keep one of the Drain Essences and the Zombie Apocalypse. I mean, don't be afraid to use Zombie Apocalypse just as kind of like a transform. If they play one thing that you want to get rid of, you can play this just to break it, and then... Alright, this is great for us. We just get to start our turn and then play Gudgeon. Perfect. It's like going first, except we get to start with an extra card in our hand for free. Very nice. Alright, Rax's Curse. I haven't really been playing a lot of Rax's Curse. I really like Wither and Consume because they're good against 1-cost champions. And I haven't seen a lot of 0-cost champion decks. I think if those become more meta, then Rax's Curse will be better. So here we just take the damage. Probably going to have to Dark One's Apprentice on turn to get rid of that, or maybe Strafing Dragon. We have actually a lot of answers that cost 0. We just need to... Right, we have Flame Spike. And Wither and Consume, I think. Interesting. No 1-cost spend. Well, I'm definitely not going to spend my gold. Start my turn and attack for 2. Unblockable. Let's just go ahead and take that down right now. It's a good way to answer it with my gold. I can't make that play on Sam's turn because that has Unbreakable on their own turn. Alright, they're going to surprise attack out an Angel of Death here, which is not good for me. Alright, well, we're going to take the damage, and they revealed a Guilt Demon, or we're going to Drain Essence this, I mean. They're going to reveal a Guilt Demon and a Drain Essence. I don't think they have Punishers in this deck. I mean, I think they're just going to play Guilt Demon here and attack me, which is totally fine. I'm not really expecting Crystal Golem. This is a very slow play here. What I could even do is I could play Heinous Feast and Zombie Apocalypse if I want to make it so this doesn't draw a card. Not a bad play. Power Sword would also be very good here if I could get it. I might just Misguide Herald and try and find it because it's just so strong if I hit it randomly. Yeah, I'm going to go for it. There it is. I just get to take that down for free. It's so good. No draw 2 for you. I'm expecting a Guilt Demon here. This is a decent Heinous Feast, but I'm gonna wait until, because I have the Zombie Apocalypse too, I'll wait until I want to play the Zombie Apocalypse. But I'm expecting some kind of Guild Demon chump here. Okay. Oh. Drawing 2 first. Not chump, but trade, basically. Sure. Now the question is, do I want to play last year for 8? And I think dealing 8 damage for 0 is a good deal. If they had Wither or Consume, they would just play the Wither or Consume, so they don't have that in hand. Alright. It's looking pretty good. Probably going to go for the Heinous Feast right now. No, it's just very high value. Gonna go ahead and gain 4 health. Alright. So we can probably end up trying out this Invoke Pact here. We'll use it on our Gudgeon. Draw 2 cards. Yeah, sounds good. Have a Demon Token, but we get a 2-1 that's unblockable. You'll notice in this matchup, our health total doesn't matter as much. So the opponent's Demon Token doesn't matter because they can hit us for 4, but they can't block our stuff with it. So now I'm shutting off my discard pile being banished all at once. I'm shutting off. I can use this to block something like Mythic Monster if I need to. And I'm also just hitting for 2 every turn. This is 5 damage, which is a 3-turn clock at the moment. Alright, so I'm probably going to attack with the Gudgeon first, just in case they have an Ice Drake, I guess. Not that it really matters. Or Helion. Keep in mind they do have a Drain Essence in hand. There's a Drain Essence, alright. I feel like they need to use it. It's good for us, generally speaking. So it's probably just calling the Mythic Monster, and then this gets cleared and we play Strafing Dragon, and then we can hit with Strafing Dragon and misguide into something. Our alternative is hit for 11, they're at 10, but then we get hit for 13, which I don't think we want to do. And we could Brachiosaurus Strafing Dragon, but then we don't have a good off-turn play. So I think it is going to be just calling that and pass. Oh wait, I can't calling that. It's too big. I just realized that. Alright, let's go ahead and I guess we'll just go for the Strafing Dragon play here. Hit them for 11, that puts them at 10. Just take the 13. See what they want to do about it. We won't reveal the other Strafing Dragon. Yeah, we can eat 17, it's just a lot. We go down to 22. But again, I don't think that deck plays any Punishers. I mean, it's got all of his slow cards. We haven't seen a single fast card besides Dark Knight. Just gonna take it. Ow. I can't be burned out because Gudgeon's here. So I'm pretty safe from a lot of things. Yep. The 2 damage from the Gudgeon is very relevant here, because we're getting them low enough that they felt like they needed to Drain Essence that Misguide Herald. And so far, it's possible I shouldn't have attacked with the Gudgeon. I should have attacked with the... Well, no, I really wanted to force them to use the Drain Essence. I think that was correct. Alright, I'm gonna maybe... Heinous Feast me. Or Guilt Demon me. Sure. Sure, I just don't get to recycle off that, which I think is good for me. So I'm going to Strafing Dragon, that'll deal 5. Alright, so I'm still going to Strafing Dragon, that'll deal 5. And then they'll still have lethal coming in from these two Strafing Dragons. Then, worst case scenario, I can Misguide Herald to try and find Power Sword for the win. Or Strafing Dragon again. Surprise attack, sure. Angel. It just seems like that would be what they're doing, but it really punishes them because they lose everything. Sure. Sounds good to me. I think we're gonna Misguide Heralds here. There's a lot of things that we want right now. Like, Pyrosaur kills that and deals 4 damage to them because they have to block it. So I think it's Pyrosaur here. Real the same too. Fortunately, I don't have a trick to finish it off. But this is nice for us still, because they basically cleared their own board for us. Interesting, Dark Knight here. Sure thing. If they attack here, I'm not blocking. The Misguide Herald's way more threatening on attack than that Angel of Death is on attack. If I Zombie Apocalypse, I guess not. Yep, you got it. Taking 6. Out of 16. Misguide themselves to find a Dark One's Apprentice, probably would be what I would go for here. Alright, so I could Zombie Apocalypse. The only thing is I get 4 and they get 5. I need to draw cards, so we're going to draw cards here. Alright, this is looking a lot better now because I can bring back the Pyrosaur to finish off the zombie tokens that get made with the Invoke Pact. So I might just zombie. I'll probably, well, these are all airborne. It's probably correct just to Zombie Apocalypse now. Problem is that, like, it just is such a slow play. These doesn't seem like they have any Blitz champions in their deck, so I might just pass to them and then play Zombie Apocalypse on their turn. I think that's the play. I don't really want to give them a chance to gain more health here, or just draw 2 cards. I think it's actually worse for me than it is for them. I'm gonna do this now. Yeah, sick. This is fine. As long as they don't banish my discard pile, this is all fine. Again, eat away my zombies all you want. Yeah, we're gonna draw 2. That's what I didn't want them to do on my turn. That's totally fine as well. Don't banish my discard pile, please. Pass. You know you want to. Alright. Yeah, once our turn starts, if they passed us, then we'll be in a very good position. Interesting. Banishing their own Grave Demon. We'll see what they banish when they attack with it. I mean, they usually can't. Sure. Interesting. Again. They should definitely attack with a Grave Demon here. I mean, the Guild Demon. What? They chose the Strafing Dragon. Well, sweet. Sounds good to me. Let's see. So I could either Wolfspite that. I might as well Wolfspite that, because then my Wolf also gets to attack. So I get 2 damage to them, and I also get to gain 3 health from it. So I'll get rid of Zombie Apocalypse because I don't have anything that interacts with it, and kind of want to leave the Ancient Chant in case this game does end up going longer, but I don't really have that as an option. We'll just I need it. Get rid of my own Strafing Dragon. I guess it's better than the Misguided Herald. Plus, the opponent can use the Misguided Herald for things. Like, they might just have a final task in hand that they want to play off of my Misguided Heralds. Alright. Go ahead and name a Pact here, grab the Pyrosaur back. Go ahead and reveal 2 cards our opponent knows about. Attack with it. And we're in a great spot. We got this Wither as well, so we can stop a Chump Blocker usually. But we also have 4 damage coming in afterwards, assuming nothing else weird happens. Like, they're probably just going to draw 2 here to try and find an answer. Nice, okay, so by final tasking, by removing my own Misguided Herald, they weren't... Oh, they could have final... Yeah, they probably should have brought back their own Misguided Herald there, but I guess this also gives them health. Because they get 3 health from it coming back into play, and then they also get another bit of health because I don't want to attack with these. Don't want to lose 1 and expend the other to deal damage to them. I don't think that's worth it. There's Dark Knight. Yeah, see, now I can just gain 5 because I'm not going to... Yeah, that's fine. They're playing this very much like they're the control deck, which they probably are, but they need to be very aggressive on this matchup. That's the interesting thing about Evil Wilds, is you're not as fast as normal Wilds, but you also can win the long game. You can grind your opponent out. So your opponent has to actually have a clock on you. They can't just dirt. Otherwise, you're going to gain a lot of value the whole game. It's Keeper of Secrets, banishing... I don't know what they're going to banish. They want to get rid of that Pyrosaur for good. That's fine. Alright. It's probably going to just be... I kind of want to draw more cards, honestly, so I kind of want to just recall this Ancient Chant here. See if I can't find another way to remove stuff. I mean, have we lost... I guess all of our Pyrosaurs are banished, so we're definitely not seeing another one this game. Like, my other option is I Dark One's Apprentice the Keeper of Secrets or something similar, and then I can just attack for 7, which also seems quite strong. Also does seem quite strong. They would get more zombie tokens though, which is not great. Do something like Dark One's Wither to get rid of that, but then I don't have that many cards in hand. I think I'm just gonna Ancient Chant here. Alright, very nice. Pass the turn. We've got Strafing Dragon. Sounds good to me. Just go ahead and play the Strafing Dragon here. We'll go ahead and... I could even... Brachiosaurus surprise attack Necromancer Lord. That might be overkill. We kind of have a lot of stuff in play. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Yeah, we attack. Trying to think of what would be bad, but we have Wither in hand, so, and Rage. So if they drop a 7/7 here, it actually is good for us. Mythic Monster, looking for answers. Looks like we're going to Rage this for the win. Pass the blockers. No blockers to declare. We'll go for the win. Alright, that's going to be a game. Anyway, that's pretty much how this deck is going to play most of the time. It's actually, I really enjoy playing Wild Evil. It's probably my favorite combination to play, but people also just don't play it very often. Alright, I am going to be ending it for the stream here. Sorry, Benron. I might play with you on the side after the stream ends, but I don't want to get too sucked into these games. Anyway, I'll be back on Wednesday. We're going to try and hit up the arena. I didn't actually get to play a game with this deck that I made, so I'll just leave it, and then we'll play again um, during the next. Sorry, on Monday during the next stream. In the meantime, have some good games and have a good weekend, everyone. See you next time.